something occurred to me when I read one of your interviews the other day, which is how on earth did they insure this movie? Because you're on bikes that are 40s, 50s, 60s era bikes, and they don't always want to stop when you want to stop.
No.
And then, and this seems so obvious, you're not wearing helmets.
Yeah.
Were there days when you just went, how are we getting away with this? How am I in a field with 40 guys tearing up the earth?
Yeah, the fact that they allowed us to do that, I'm so grateful that we were able to actually make this movie. They had this idea at one point of us wearing helmets that had hair on the outside, which is the most ridiculous image when you think of it. You couldn't be cool looking, like your head is that large,
I want to see that. Why is Austin's head expanded? Just ignore it. Just move on.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get on a motorcycle.
That's it. That's the trick. No one ever tells you about it.
No.
I read also that Josh Brolin was actively jealous when he heard you had this role.
Yeah.
That's a nice feeling.
Because I went straight from Dune to this, and Josh and I got very close on Dune. And he's the real deal. I mean, he's got a couple of these incredible old bikes.
Wow. Yeah. I'll have to borrow one of these days. But you had a week gap between Elvis and Masters of the Air.
Yeah.
And you're saying there was no gap from Dune Part 2 and Bikeriders.
And I wrapped Dune, and the next day I flew to Cincinnati.
Wow.
Straight from Budapest.
Excellent. I mean that's a fantastic life. I absolutely love that.
From the beginning?
Yes, please.
And you work sort of hand in glove with Jodie. There's a lot of Jodie time.
That was the golden age of Bikeriders.
Yeah, she carries this film. She's amazing.
She's incredible, and she's essentially the narrator as well, let's be honest.
And that's when I seen Benny.
Sort of explaining all the madness.
Standing over at the pool table.
Would you say, because I love her to pieces, she's the person most likely to make you crack up on set? Because she just has this way about her, this twinkle in her eyes. Who over the entirety of your career could get you to break?
To get me to break on set,
I would say Tom Hanks's Colonel might get me a few times.
Yeah, I could see how you would say that. With that one, I think I had so much of my own stuff that I was focused on that I don't think I ever broke. But Tom Hardy, he's got such a wit about him that I think he's more likely to make me break than Jodie in a way.
Interesting.
What the hell were you thinking back there?
Nothing. I saw you squaring off with them guys. What do I need to think for?
Yeah, you and me, kid.
Yeah, but once you're acting, it's not. He doesn't do that. But he cracked me. Like he has such a wit. It's amazing.
He's a very funny guy.
Yeah.
You never know quite which way he's going to go.
No.
I love
he's
that about him.
so smart too.
Is he the sort of person, I've seen you talk to Timothée Chalamet about this, who you can really drill down with and talk about the character?
Yeah, I mean, Timothy and I, we've had a lot of great conversations about that. Recently, Joaquin Phoenix, I felt very fortunate to be able to have those conversations with him. Same with De Niro I talked to recently, and that was kind of amazing.
Would that be the sort of moment where you say, can I make sure someone's taking him?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be cool around him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's the greatest.
He's the greatest.
Yeah.
Are there people that you're yet to meet that you'd long to sit down with and actually properly have a conversation with? Because there was that flurry of time, all the Elvis press, your star just exploded, where it must have felt you met pretty much everybody, but is there still somebody on your hit list, like Meryl Streep, for example?
I just met her the other day, actually. Yeah, I was at this thing in LA, and I was very nervous, but somebody, Judd Apatow of all people, facilitated me being able to go up and say hello to her, and we talked for a while, and she was so sweet. Somebody who I've never met though is Ryan Gosling, and I really looked up to him a lot as a.
He's in London right now.
Is he really?
We'll talk after.
Okay, all right. I'm sure you've had conversations with him.
A couple. I mean, I'm not pretending like he's my best mate, but.
No, I have so much respect for him, and we were just talking about him actually. Like, it really because he had the same sort of trajectory of being very young, and then those movies that he did, like right at the time where I was kind of coming into a real appreciation of acting and films, and he was making movies like Blue Valentine and Lars and the Real Girl, and it really impacted me a lot.
Even just saying the names make you sigh.
Yeah, I mean, Drive. And,
yeah, he's that good. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
You've talked about your favourite films before, and you often mention East of Eden and Chinatown and, you know, the greats.
Yeah.
Are there any more recent movies that you found yourself really drawn to and revisiting? Modern classics.
Modern classics. What about, you know what, I just actually watched all of the Mission Impossibles on the plane. And it had been a while since I'd seen that first Brian De Palma.
With the helicopter.
Yeah. And those were really fun.
I think we could manifest your role in that series.
Well, I love Tom Cruise so much.
Let's get you in a helicopter. Let's
Yeah.
throw you off a building.
I'll just be an extra.
Oh, please, that would make my day.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
You also obviously have the ability to look entirely different and play entirely different characters. Elvis into Dune 2, I can't comprehend where your head must have been at trying to go from one to the other. What were your jumping in points for both characters? How did you mentioned death metal for Feyd Rautha, not death metal for Elvis.
No. It helps when you have a lot of time in a makeup chair and where you look in the mirror and you see somebody who looks very different from you. And for Feyd, I think it was also his voice.
The slave wasn't drugged.
Once I found that, then that helped me a lot.
You tried to kill me?
This morning you were a playboy, feared and envied. But tonight, you're a hero.
That Skarsgård lilt.
I ought to drown you in that tub.
Don't be hasty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a
It
treat.
was very helpful.
What was it like for him, do you think? You must have talked about it.
We talked about it after. Yeah, where he sort of asked me how I came up with that and how I sounded like him. But I honestly every day would wake up and I'd just watch interviews with Stellan. And I'd fall asleep listening to his voice, and I was just constantly playing his voice, and that's how I did it.
You really do your research.
Well,
I mean,
he's not a bad guy to listen to.
You make
he's
a good
very
point.
Interesting man.
Yeah. If you, he's like, I've got to listen to Mickey Mouse for the next 4 days.
That's the next one.
What would you say over the course of your whole career have been the least glamorous moments?
Least glamorous?
Least glamorous, because I think people get the impression that you go, look at these great roles, look how amazing the finished product is. Whereas in reality, you can be sweating. You can be waiting for hours in your trailer. You can be so inside your head, you just can't get the pressure out.
Yeah.
Anything spring to mind?
There's so many moments that are not glamorous. I mean, in Dune, the first sequence that I shot was the gladiator fight.
Yeah. Is that Thai stick fighting, was that?
Yeah, it was Filipino.
Filipino.
Yeah, Kali and Eskrima. But it was 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was in a sand pit that had these giant walls around it, and so it was swelteringly hot. And I have 2 bald caps on, and what I'm wearing is made of like wetsuit material, and it's black, and so the sun is just baking you. It was so hot. And so those were moments, and people were passing out from heat stroke, and then you're fighting, and you feel your shoes almost melting in the sand, and those moments feel very unglamorous, I guess.
And then you miss your mark, and you go, oh no.
Yeah, now you got to go back to 1.
No, I can't do this again. I would have had moments when they're placing the camera here, there, and everywhere, but for particularly the first Elvis breakout moment on stage where you're like, I don't know how long I could do this. Like, how many days did that sequence take, for example?
I don't know. I feel like that took maybe a week or a few days or something like that.
Well, you may go to college, you may go to school, you may have a pink Cadillac, but don't you make nobody's rule now, baby.
My hips would be in such pain. I don't want to sound like an old man here, but I'd just be exhausted.
Yeah, you're pretty sore after that. Yeah.
The stretches you must have done in the morning. Like.
Yeah, you got to stretch it out.
Absolutely. We've talked a little bit about the mementos you've taken home. Jumpsuit, you've talked about the cut you got from Bikeriders.
Yeah.
What's on the desk, and where do you display it? Like, where do you put this stuff?
Some of it, you know, I mean, I've got the leather from 68 Special just in my closet. Just hung up in there.
Yep.
The other thing that I have is the framed Unchained Melody, the back of the jumpsuit. And that's with my friend Rautha here.
That's a nice way to do it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea.
And I love asking this question, but do you have a most memorable director's note you've ever been given? Ever been given across the whole career, where it may have unlocked something in your acting style or the way you attack a role? Anything that sticks with you?
I mean, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, the funny one was where in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where we're doing the scene where I come in and I hold the gun on Brad, and the line Quentin was going to have me say, "I'm as real as a bullet." And then right before the take, I'm outside the door, and he came out and said, "Why don't you say I'm as real as a donut?" And I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then he leaves. Action. I come in, and that's the line.
You are real, right?
I'm as real as a donut.
So just seeing that wit and the playfulness, that was really cool.
It's a dream of mine to be on set of a Quentin Tarantino movie and hear the whole crew, all the actors involved, shout, "We love
making movies." Isn't that the greatest?
And I want that on a t-shirt to sit down with him and watch him notice.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, because we love making movies.
We're going to get you that t-shirt, we're going to get me that t-shirt, and we're going to get you Ryan Gosling's phone number.
There you go.
Dream.
There you go. My heart just fluttered hearing you say
That's what I do. Oh, I see, because of Ryan Gosling. Okay, yeah. Austin, thank you. I mean, as you can tell, big fan, and
I appreciate
keep
it,
doing
man.
what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always nice talking to you.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to keep up to date. You can listen to my Radio 1 movies and TV podcast, Screen Time, on BBC Sounds. And you can find these interviews in full on BBC iPlayer by searching Movies with Ali Plumb.
The police in New York City